right, everybody. Welcome to the Pastimes Podcast. Each week we go through an old newspaper from a random date in history picked out by Dave Anthony. I'm Gareth Reynolds, and I've never seen it before, and neither is our guest this week.
The great Luke Simmons.
Hi.
Hi, Luke.
Hello.
We're in a van.
We are in the van, some would call it.
We're in a park, sort of.
We're at Inspiration Point in San Francisco.
Yeah, right.
So
you're pissed?
Us.
You pissed about it? Yeah, don't dox us.
I'm not doxing you.
Now everyone's, oh my God, look at all the people.
Oh, God.
Showing up.
Luke, you've been a train wreck today so far.
Yeah.
You put oats in the toilet and missed it a lot. You dropped something out of the van a minute ago and you made a crazy sound. And
I just said no.
Yeah. Yep. That'll do.
It was okay. That was just an enamel cup.
What would you say has been your biggest stumble on this tour? Because there's been a lot. And then we can give you ours.
That's a great question.
It shouldn't take that
Pretty
long.
smooth sailing, honestly.
Okay.
For most of it.
Okay. Well,
Dave, go ahead.
what was the eggs?
Dave's was the eggs. What was that? What happened?
Sure.
He came into a hotel room and he had the cart to bring all the bags and stuff out. And in his other hand, he had stopped by the breakfast bar and gotten a bowl of scrambled eggs.
Huge bowl.
And he went to put it on the table, but he missed the table by like 6 inches.
And then the eggs, what happened to
On
them?
the ground.
My favorite was when we were having some technical difficulties and on stage during a live show at the beginning in maybe Portland, might have been Seattle, I can't remember. But either way, he was there and he came on stage and he just swapped out the HDMI 3 times and nothing was working. And we were kind of like trying out the HDMI. And then someone else completely fixed it. Mm-hmm. But while that was all going on, as he was walking off stage, he tripped over the wire connected to the computer and the computer got tugged off of the table.
Not off.
Yes, off.
No, the edge.
No, off.
I
caught it.
Yeah, we caught it.
So it stayed on because you grabbed it.
It was
It's
off the
teamwork.
table. It was off the table.
Teamwork making the dream work.
Off the table. And then he came out and did champion hands like he had done something.
I did. I kept people thinking that work was getting done on the wire situation with my busyness. People like to feel like there's action being taken, even if...
I don't think you know what people feel.
That's why you have cones out on the roads that are never getting fixed. Because it feels like
See,
something's
he's doing the
happening.
thing again.
Yeah.
And as
He's
the
just
old
filling
saying-
the world with words that are just
as the old
empty
saying
to
goes,
just take up time so you're tired.
You can't make an omelet without spilling a few eggs.
Luke is the human equivalent. It's
can't
the
eat an
manifestation of the rope-a-dope. He's just going to make you feel tired and want to stop.
This week's paper is the Alden Eagle from Alden, Minnesota. Now you guys are going to guess the year.
Whoa, look at you taking the reins. Luke, go ahead. No, I don't know who you're going to... I don't know who would you rather get this right or wrong, Luke or I? I can't
It's
tell.
tough.
Yeah.
1919.
He's wrong.
1902.
It's 1880. Gareth, you won.
I can't... What just got said?
Look at you.
Dave!
I'm so proud of you.
What?
Big day.
He hates you.
January 23rd, 1880.
All right.
The Alden
Now, Luke,
Eagle.
you realize the guest on this show doesn't say anything.
I don't know where Alden...
Okay. Just listen to you guys.
You listen to me, and you can compliment me.
It's like being at a live podcast.
Right.
Not at all.
Just like a one-man podcast, like a private screening.
Right.
Cool.
All right, Dave.
All right. So this is reprinted from the Hastings Gazette.
I had a feeling.
When a newspaper man hears the remark that his paper doesn't amount to much after he has worked 9 days in the week and racked his imagination all to slivers to produce a good paper, he feels like turning the business over to his mother-in-law.
What?
And after due meditation resolves to drown himself in a cup of benzene.
Oh my God! What is this? Is the first article?
Yes.
That's curious.
I like that before they had Facebook, people had to angrily post in the newspaper they ran. Nobody appreciates the newspaper guy, so I guess he'll just kill himself and give his mother-in-law the paper.
Targeted to the mother-in-law is great. She probably read that paper and was like, Frank is gone. He's absolutely nuts. Deb, you have to leave him. And by the by. So, okay. Seems aggressive.
Yeah, it's very aggressive.
Yeah.
Next article.
There's no follow-up?
No, there's rarely.
Well, what would the follow-up be?
Yeah, he's just mad.
Yeah.
But, like, did they not respond to a particular article?
Who?
The readership.
No, he heard someone. Oh, no, the readership. The newspaper man overheard someone talking.
So I want to hear a little bit more about that. The who, what, when, where. We've got the what. Which
It isn't great reporting.
Made,
But also,
but, like, there's a lot of details.
Can I point out that Luke doesn't know how newspapers work? You don't get to then request
The
more.
follow-up.
It's in print. It's already happened.
I know, but
Yeah.
I'm saying...
You want a documentary.
I see why this newspaper is not doing well.
How do we know it's not doing well?
Because the guy's losing his mind because people don't like it.
But he's talking about the Hastings Gazette. That the Alden Eagle did not make this comment. He reprinted it from the Hastings. Now he agrees with it.
Yeah.
He thinks that you should.
I agree with it.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Enough.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. Let me do my shit.
Yeah, I don't need your replies.
Look, I'm partying. Let me cook.
A carriage containing Mary Anderson was run away at Wheeling, Virginia. The choice girl...
Wheeling? A carriage ran away at Wheeling?
Wheeling,
I
Virginia.
mean, you don't enter Wheeling if you don't want... If
If
you want control of your wheels, get out of Wheeling.
I like how you're stuck on Wheeling and the choice girl you just... Should you be calling girls choice
Yes.
in 1880?
Yes. So there's the one advantage to that time was that you could be like, she's choice.
Boy, she's really choice.
She's choice.
I'd like to hit her with my carriage, if you know what I mean.
I
choice.
don't, actually. That sounds like
Wait,
an
what?
order.
Sir, sir, two men are having a conversation. What are you doing? What does that mean, sir?
Have you seen the film Death Proof?
What? He did a death proof joke yesterday.
I watched Death Proof recently.
And he's trying to work these death proof jokes in. And it's not gonna hit. What are you going for?
I totally forgot about Death Proof.
Have you seen it?
Well, that's Luke's angle.
Have you seen it in the last week? Because
No.
if
Luke
you
watched
had,
Death
it would be
Proof.
on your mind.
Luke watched Death Proof, and now he's like, I got more jokes about Death Proof. You mean that movie that bombed that nobody really saw?
That's the one.
I'm doing Death Proof.
If you did see it, these jokes would slap. Like a lady under a carriage, if you know what I'm saying.
I don't.
What?
Again,
This
I
guy, why does he keep coming over?
don't. The choice girl was thrown out, and only for
the guy sees that, he's like, choice again.
Look how choice she is on the ground.
Nice.
The choice. Oh boy, the paper went down. We lost the paper.
What?
Well, it turns out we need a good internet connection here.
Oh, it's a good thing we came to this high altitude where there isn't one. Should we move it?
Yeah. Well,
Go down? Lower altitude?
I think we want to go that way.
All right.
Now it's coming back,
Yeah, we'll just let's deal with that shit.
but we can just do it over.
We can actually do it right now if we want. Why don't we drive to better Wi-Fi?
Yeah. The choice girl was thrown
Now we're
out.
driving. This is the first time we've done this show driving.
Yeah.
Go left?
Yeah.
I can't.
You could say we're the Wheeling Podcast.
Whoa.
Why would we say that?
Choice.
Because we're wheeling around.
I wouldn't call that jogging.
For wheel.
The choice girl was thrown out, and only
Put your seatbelt on.
fucking fuck. This is crazy.
This is not okay.
And the choice girl was thrown out, and only for the fact that the driver caught her in his arms. She would have been thrown down a precipice and smashed as flat as a
Thrown
piece
down-
of blotting paper.
There's a lot going on. I never realized precipice was like, what, an edge?
It's just like a
No.
slot.
Well,
Like a
a
canyon.
precipice is something like a cliff, like a type of.
I've never
thing you
heard of it
fall
like
off
that.
of.
I've always heard of a precipice. I mean, it makes sense. Okay, and then what did she fall down like?
The internet's better here, so just park in here, maybe.
What did she fall down like? A piece of blotting paper?
Well, no, she would have.
Oh, but
if
he
the
carried her.
driver caught her in his arms.
I feel like it was set up. I feel like this guy set it up so that he could seem like a hero.
It sounds sort of romantic. It's like a street cute in rom-com terms.
So here's what just happened, and I'm going to tell you why it happened, and I'm going to tell you why I'm okay with it. It's a good pun, and he just took time to let it kind of cook, and I liked it. Dave, thoughts on the street cute?
I'm fine with saying, because he
But later that night, it was probably a skeet cute.
he used some fun language.
Hey, baby, I'd like to throw myself down your precipice.
Okay, pushed it.
I mean,
Your
that's a little-
choice.
You're gonna have to edit that out.
Yeah, most of this will be edited out.
We had rather drive team at Wheeling, Virginia.
Who's talking?
Had rather drive team at. So that doesn't make sense. We had rather drive team at Wheeling, Virginia, than to dwell in the tent of the wicked. Okay, this is the same.
What's happening?
article.
This is the same article.
This is the. We just left the part where he says the girl was saved, and then he
Tent
went,
of the Wicked opened for Lamb of God when I saw him.
They're great. Great goodness! Why does all this fool luck happen to
Who's this guy? A prospector just took over the
I don't
paper?
know what's going on.
Oh, boy.
It feels like there's now a quote from the lady who hit her head a bit before she got pulled back.
She
into the
didn't hit her
carriage.
head.
Well, they said he grabbed her, but they didn't say whether or not she was buffeted about the wheels.
I think if she hit her head after he caught her, I think that would come up.
Can we just say now we're looking at a golf course and
Beautiful.
there's a guy in the Scottish Highlands over here?
It's beautiful what's happened here. This has worked out great.
Here, we can do this. Look at this. The world's most interactive podcast.
What is happening?
What are you doing?
Luke, audio is pretty important. Jeez, go away.
That didn't work.
Yeah, Luke, go.
Why
Luke,
would you?
Luke.
Why would you think that it would work?
Oh my
I was trying
God!
to
I
flip it
encourage
around.
everyone to go to
Have you
Patreon
ever-
for the
have you-
nightmare.
have you ever met you?
What just Luke? Go back to the back, boy.
Have you
Jesus
ever met you
Christ.
when you try to do something midstream that works?
I've tried it in the past, and it's happened.
Without tape, Luke would be lost. The amount of tape he uses in his
I'm
life.
doing a video now on my angle, so they can see the golf
Hey,
course.
let's record the podcast,
Huh?
Luke. Let's record the podcast part.
They're getting a big treat. They get to see how the sausage is made. The sausage boys.
I'm not sure this was a good idea.
I know it wasn't.
Great goodness, why does all this fool luck happen to obscure individuals who probably don't know enough to enjoy it? So they're saying that what happened to this young lady was enjoyable because she got caught,
Right.
but it seemed like it would still be bad.
Well,
She's complaining when she should just be happy that a handsome man caught
she's
her.
not even saying
But the
that.
carriage ran away and then it crashed and she got saved.
Yeah.
It's not a good experience.
It's not a good experience, but it's better than her crashing. But the men don't see it like that.
You sound like the kind of individuals who don't appreciate this great good luck.
That's fair. Applicable to any community, the following communication addressed to the editors of the Hoka Herald is not
This
signed.
paper's insane.
It's insane.
I don't really understand most of it so far.
Is not signed by our old friend Nemo.
What's going on? So is this just like a bulletin board in a cafe where people are just talking shit?
I don't really.
Nemo, fuck you, Nemo. My mother-in-law's a real. See you next Thursday.
I saw a carriage crash, but the lady got caught.
Go back.
I'm fixing it.
What are you doing now?
Just tilting it down a little so we
Okay.
can get a little more to the body yaddy yaddies for the fans.
Well, it is good enough to be read here and everywhere. Quote, there are 3 or 4 things, says the correspondent, which to a stranger are special indications of intelligence and culture in the citizens of any village. Good fences and attractive
What?
front yards. So if you see good fences and attractive
Front yards?
you know that
That
it's
front yard is choice.
it's a smart, cultured community.
Excuse me, sir, what are you doing? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm salt burning. Oh, yeah. Sir!
And that, ironically, for where we are, is how golf started.
Oh.
So the good fences and attractive front yards show culture and home comforts within, good sidewalks, good school buildings, good hotel accommodations, comfortable, cozy churches, and a well-cared-for cemetery indicate general public intelligence and refined tastes.
Well, don't go around the America of today. You will not be happy that every 76 has an Arby's now. Well, it's such a simple time to be like, that's what matters. A nice yard, good streets, good school. It's like, yeah, no shit.
They're saying you take care of your community. Okay,
Yeah.
like you plan well.
Which you should. But America, like, when was the last time anyone was like, I mean, that just is so far from as we drive through America quite often,
It's great.
it's not in a good spot.
great.
If that's your metric.
I am glad you are disposed to agitate the subject of better church accommodations in our thriving little city. A fenceless, dilapidated church, weather beaten and black, weather not if, but
What?
weather is in the weather has done. It's, you know,
What would you say is the point of this paper? So
we're getting to it. Weather beaten and black with the windows out and the cold in, carpeted only with a nut brown 3-ply carpet of tobacco
hey,
juice.
well, you promised me some clarity soon, and then
We'll
what
get
are you
there.
doing?
Well, we're shitting on the church right now.
Okay.
Indicate a state of barbarism in the... I mean, you shouldn't have tobacco juice all over your church.
I completely disagree. One of the best parts about going to church is how you can just do
whatever.
spit,
Yeah, shit.
spit,
pee.
shit, punch,
Yeah.
whack,
You're thinking of a bar.
barf,
You're thinking of a bar.
crap,
You're thinking of a bar.
hit,
It's not a bar.
Drink.
anymore. You're thinking of... I don't
bump,
know.
do bumps.
Sometimes for communion, you go up and the priest will just put a little dip under your tongue.
Yeah, so you guys aren't thinking of...
You know, one
churches
time the
or-
priest tried to put the wafer in my mouth, and I just started sucking his fingers.
That's how he became
And then
an altar boy.
I looked into his eyes, and I said, "Oh, sorry. I guess I misunderstood." And I winked, and I sashayed away. And then I went into the confessional room, but I did this sort of the like beckon finger.
Come hither.
I went, "Come hither."
You guys are thinking of a...
Church.
No, you're thinking of a biker clubhouse.
No, it's church.
Okay.
Where a guy named Scar runs the place.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
biker
Oh,
clubhouse.
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's Father Scar.
Oh.
Indicate a state of barbarism in the community far worse than that found in the once cannibal islands. The custom of bringing dogs to church, which have no souls to save, to the annoyance...
Excuse me?
I think you should be able to dogs to church.
100%.
You should absolutely bring it.
Who's that? And by the way, have you never met a sinner dog? Some of those
Yeah,
dogs sin.
some dogs are really bad boys.
Yeah.
Also, it feels like a chicken and the egg, where if you're not bringing the dogs to church, how are they supposed to be saved? You know, he's saying dogs can't be saved.
They have no
How if they're not
souls.
going to
I got a pitch.
I disagree that
Dog church.
Yeah.
We should come up with dog church.
Ooh, that'd
People
be
would
great.
flock to dog church.
Yeah.
If there was a church you could bring your dogs.
Yeah, where you're just like, yeah, we're gonna absolve your dogs of sin.
Yeah.
Could be. I really think there are parts of California where that would work.
Hamster church.
Well, I don't. Let's sidebar because dog church feels like it has reach, and then what you're doing in success, maybe.
Skunk church.
They're going to get real upset when they find out who the priest is molesting at dog church. Diddling doodles.
got
We were
quiet.
talking about that earlier, right, Dave?
I don't know if we were.
So, Luke,
diddling
this show
doodles?
shouldn't just be callbacks of times off the pod.
Okay.
Let's try to make
Sorry.
it self-contained.
Sorry.
I don't. Yeah, it shouldn't be stuff that Luke was just saying in the back of the van.
Luke's doing callbacks to stuff that bombed him on his own. He's like, remember that?
Nobody can guess what I meant when I said Dave diddles doodles.
Which have no souls to save, to the annoyance of good people who have souls, might possibly be tolerated among heathen during their civilizing process, but no longer. Popping paper balls,
What
silly
is happening?
giggling, and Pop and Jay behavior in God's house.
Pop and Jay?
In God's house.
Isn't that a break dancer?
Bespeaks a want of civilization in which Christian heathen would never be guilty of.
What is? I really.
This
The
feels like-
point of that is make church nice.
I think, yeah, like, let's not
Clean
have
it up.
Let's not have a shitty church, I think is what he's
Yeah,
saying.
because it's dirty and it doesn't have a fence.
But the dogs thing
Dog
is
church
wrong.
is huge.
Dog
church is huge. Dog
yeah.
church could be really big for this show.
Because sometimes they do outside churches, but inside church with dogs.
Yeah, a dog church.
Yeah.
It'd be fucking. I would go to dog church.
I would go to dog church too.
Yeah.
entire choir is just dogs howling along to the organ.
Well, now
hymnal.
that's,
Maybe
I guess, that seems a little annoying.
it's gonna be that. That does take it in a new direction.
Yeah.
I was thinking it would be like a regular, like church,
And there's just
like a
dogs.
preacher,
And there's dogs just
and
sitting
the
there.
and the
You can pet your
preachers. Yeah, right.
You're going to start like a ecclesiastical war calling one church regular. I think there's a lot of singing churches who people think are just regular.
I like, oh, I feel like you're trying to walk away from your dogs are in the choir.
I love dogs in the choir.
I think
No,
he's
I
trying
remember
to-
you said it.
all dogs singing choir.
I think he's trying to back it, but using a crazy justification.
That's a Luke angle.
you're going to start the dog troubles, throwing trash accusations that singing dog churches are not regular.
That guy shanked that so fucking bad.
I didn't think you'd be able to I didn't think you'd be able to give the listeners the true Luke experience. Well, I'm confused and tired, but you're still going. But I think you've done a pretty good job so far.
Yeah.
Where I'm like a little lost. I don't know what to do. But you still seem more confident than ever in everything.
Yeah, if people don't understand, this is what it's like driving in the van with Luke. He just goes on tangents, and you're like, oh, yeah, I'm not going to respond.
And not responding to him is like, they want me to go further with my song.
I'm getting the green light.
Yeah.
A Michigan man has actually invented a flying machine.
Now we're fucking talking.
We're back.
Holy shit, that was close. This episode, I was checking the ratings, they were bad, but now we're back.
Are we?
Yeah, flying machine.
And the only defect that can be discovered its working is that a person cannot fly with it.
Well, it's a bummer. So you made a bird?
I made a paper airplane.
You made a bird okay.
It's a drone.
Yeah, you made a drone, so...
The defect, it is believed, can be remedied.
Well...
Smaller people.
I'm recreating a gun to shrink the passengers.
We think once we find a baby willing to serve as pilot, we should be...
I've made a flying machine for squirrels. It'll be perfect.
Unfortunately, local mothers refuse to aid the course of science.
Yeah, we were watching a guy look for his golf ball. He's way off.
It's way over that way. Oh, he's just going to... He's going to cheat,
he's
right?
Cheating. He's about to drop one out of his pocket, the son of a bitch.
We'll watch this guy cheat. Goodness! That was dense fog yesterday morning. You couldn't recognize a person 6 feet off. A man might be walking along the street and come right up face to face with a man he owes. We prefer any kind of weather to fog.
What is this in reference to? The flying machine?
The guy almost hit the van.
Is this the flying machine still?
This is the next story.
Oh, okay.
The next story after the flying machine story.
Oh, okay.
To be continued, I believe it's called. Or no.
Well, Luke would like to know everything about where this story goes, please.
Oh, so he just took it out of the rough.
Cheat.
He didn't cheat, or he did? Oh, he just put it. But that guy's really bad at golf.
I mean, I should remind you guys that we are doing a podcast. So, as far as what people's expectations are of the show, it's probably to do the thing.
So he's going to try and hit it out of the sand.
Yeah, but they can't see him. But nobody can see him or him.
They're both in sand.
I mean, I'm looking at him, and I don't give a shit.
Now, this guy's coming over the van because he almost hit the van with his golf ball.
I, again, couldn't care less.
A man who had $65 stolen from him received a note with $25 saying, "I stole your money."
I like that.
Yeah.
So they just gave him $40 less?
Well, remorse gnaws at my cautions. And
I feel bad, so I'll take the 40.
And he can't find his ball. We could help him out. I could help him out.
Nah, I think we just...
It's right here.
Maybe do the podcast.
And I sent some of it back. When it gnaws again, I'll send you some more.
So he's paying a gnawing fee. Yeah. He's got a gnaw tax.
So that guy just left without his ball, so I can go steal his ball when they leave.
Yeah. So there's just a tax.
But why keep the money if you're...
That's how loans should work. When it bothers you, you just drop a little money their way. Yeah, you just throw a little money back at the place that lent you the money.
It feels weird that I took all this money and am not paying you anything. So
robbing and then starting to give it back by feeling bad. Guilty. I don't feel right about this.
Doing without his beer.
Now we're talking.
Thousands of workmen toil to keep some brewer rich, or clothe the wives of rum sellers in silk white, while their own wives dress in cheap calico.
So they're saying that...
Sounds like a Karl Marx brewery kind of vibes.
But wait. It's because they're making money off of their alcohol?
Yes.
And they're dressing nice, and then their wives are dressing like, they're not getting a slice of that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
To such we commend this anecdote.
I was hoping it would be antidote.
Well, that'd be so much better.
We've come up with a potion to make you see women as equals. It's the only way.
In England, there was a man named William Bailey who once had been
By the way, every man in England at this time was named William Bailey.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people know that.
That's right. Who had once been a farm laborer and who now owns an establishment whose business amounts to thousands and thousands of dollars.
They make a cream liqueur.
What just happened?
I don't know.
Bailey's Irish Cream.
Oh.
Boom. Suck it, Dave.
Well, that was because we had moved on, but now I get it.
Well,
And we were still talking about all the Baileys.
yeah.
Some years ago, this man, so it's a rich guy.
It'd be great if every guest got the business that Luke gets. They'd be like, I don't want to do this show anymore. Hey, I don't like your joke just there. I didn't care for that one. Defend your joke. Defend your joke.
So he used to be working class, now he's rich.
Right.
Some years ago, this man happened to cross a wheat field and saw some laborers at work mowing. He was dressed in a fine suit of black, but walked over among the laborers and asked one of them if he might be allowed to mow.
And this is a story of him being good?
Well, the man said yes, and Bailey took a scythe and began to work.
He cut off the laborer's leg by accident.
Yeah, he keeps slashing the men.
Just keeps...
Whoops.
Oh, boy.
Those men are dead.
He comes back, he's good. I tried to work a day as a man. We need new gardeners.
As it happens, I found some new clients for my prosthetic limb business, which is booming.
He had not been long engaged when one of the laborers said, in some surprise, noting his attire and deeming him a wealthy gentleman, "Why, you have mowed before?" "Yes, I have," Bailey responded. "And I used at one time..."
This is pathetic. And this is like when I see valets, this is what I'm like. Because I used to valet and I loved it. So when I see valets, I'm like, you guys do a lot of, what is Fridays Wild? You know, they're like, what? I'm like, the Fridays here. What, do you got a lot? Or you guys street park? And they're like, we park it all over there. I'm like, I could get hairy. You know, I remember the first time I drove a Prius. I didn't think the damn thing was starting. And they're like, all right, dude. You know, I'm like, all right, well, you boys keep your nose clean. Hey, I know I didn't. All right, fellas.
Yes, I have. And I used to, at one time, drink beer regularly when I did.
Fuck you.
So he used to get shit-faced while he did this, which is fine. You can do this work drunk.
It's called mowing and plowing.
But while I was mowing one day and drinking my beer, the idea suddenly came to me that I could mow just as well without beer.
This is such an 1890s revelation. I realized alcohol didn't need to be involved in everything.
I don't have to be drunk to work, I said to myself.
Getting hammered to mow.
On the next installment of Ye Undercover Boss.
It says Undercover Boss. Oh, I couldn't work without beer, interrupted one of the laborers. I could never get on.
It's amazing. He might work. You're fired.
Well, continued Bailey, after I began to mow without beer, I soon discovered that I could get on without mowing altogether.
I love that he's quitting mowing.
We should like that very well, said the laborers. Oh, no, returned Bailey. You cannot do without your beer, and you will go on mowing all your lives without doing anything better. What the fuck?
I really don't know.
Shit out of this guy in the field.
I don't understand what his point after all of that was like.
Oh, you are trash men. I'm a better sort.
You guys are fucked.
Good day, garbage. They've all got scythes. Like, cut him. Cut his ass.
Oh, it'd be great. That was like that woman at the show the other night who showed us that pamphlet, and it was to make a guillotine, and it was just like how to make a lemonade stand.
Oh yeah, and it's pictures of
it's like a lemon. It's supposed to be a quote unquote lemon cutter.
You gotta post that. The criminal calendar.
This is good. I like the criminal calendar.
Happy
Looters Day.
As E.B. Wells, paymaster of Southside Gaslight and Coke Company, was riding along Deering Street, Chicago on the 16th in a buggy, 3 masked men assaulted him, knocking him senseless with a slingshot.
Slingshot?
It's got to be slingshot.
Yeah, but it's
they're
past
saying
tense.
Past tense. Secured $4,000 in gold and silver and escaped in a buggy taken from in front of a grocery store in which its owner was trading. So they did a robbery and a carjacking.
Yeah, wagon jacking.
That's good. I mean,
it's a twofer.
Yeah,
I'm on their side.
It's There's not enough context, but I do like that your gut is to always go with the criminals.
Yeah. Well, he's got enough money. He's also the paymaster. It's not his cash.
Ooh, the paymaster. No.
Postmaster General Key has decided that queen bees shall not be kept from the males.
Now, a lot of these stories.
Do you know what do you have any idea what he just said?
Mm-hmm.
Some guy got robbed twice.
No. The queen.
Paymaster.
The last. Yeah. Okay.
But then he jumped over to the postmaster.
Now it's the postmaster.
Who's now in charge of the bees?
The queen bee.
No, he's saying what can be mailed. And in this case, he's saying, yes, we will allow you to
mail
send
bees?
in the mail a queen bee.
Shut up.
Yeah.
That is not true.
That's exactly what it is.
That can't be true.
Why would it be true?
What the fuck? Fire this man.
You know that's how you get chickens in America, right?
After much deliberation, I've decided you can mail bees.
But not male bees. Only the lady
female
bee.
bees.
One female bee.
One female bee.
At a time.
By the way, the colony is like, what the fuck?
Well, I think that's why they were worried about mailing them, because
They'll follow
that could get pretty crazy.
That would be fucking hysterical.
Because it's not like anything.
That was just
Hey, boss,
how
I
you,
got a whole bunch of bees that seem real interested in this one envelope.
It would be like when you turn your car on and like you realize the mob has put a bomb in your engine. You open the letter and a queen bee comes out and you're like, oh no. Ah!
But this is before there's cars or anything, so nothing's really moving that fast, so bees could follow you.
What are you? This is not what the story is.
No, but
that
I
you
think
can mail
probably,
bees.
That's probably their concern.
But you should be able to mail bees because it's mailing a bee.
You can.
One time
No, it's a queen bee, and so
Whatever.
it would be followed by the hive.
You can't be mailing bees
Why not?
because it's horrid.
I bet you look it up right now. I bet you can mail a queen bee. I bet that never changed.
If you can mail a queen bee, I'm gonna eat Luke's ass.
Because you can still mail chickens.
Oh, fingers crossed. Have you gotten chickens in the mail? You brought this up now a couple times.
I considered it, but I can't have chickens where I live.
Well, just send it back to somebody else.
What does that mean?
Just slap return on sender. Once
Well,
you get
You can mail a queen bee,
I told you.
but it's like not in an envelope.
Well, I didn't say it was in an envelope.
Well, I guess I was picturing an
Well,
envelope.
what the fuck is wrong with you?
I thought it was easier.
When I said you can mail a chicken, did you think they put that in an envelope also?
For a minute.
Why do you think everything in the mail goes in an envelope?
I don't. You do. You do. Don't you? Luke, rough him up.
One time, my dad was
God damn it, not the one time.
my dad was driving back from a Grateful Dead concert in the 70s, and he said they pulled up to a toll booth, and the man at the booth looked around the car at them, and they were all pretty clearly hippies, and he just goes, "Hey, you boys want a chicken?" And whoever was driving just was like, okay, because he was kind of freaked out by the question.
Dave's face right now.
And the toll booth operator just handed them out a live chicken that I guess had fallen off a truck and he didn't know what to do with. And he's like, I'll let these hippies take the chicken. And they took it home and it lived on their speaker system for about a week. And then G said one day it just left.
So this is a very...
Honestly, that feels like an article from the paper.
Man,
Well, what kind of-
I am built to be a newsman from the 1800s.
Well,
This
go ahead,
is a-
Dave.
I've got
This
lots of
is-
anecdotes.
Luke,
I don't really
Luke,
know how to wrap them up.
Luke, yeah, no, that's one thing
My
I know
syntax is very confusing at
about.
times.
Yeah, absolutely. You are. At least you know that your stories a lot of times end with you like, "Hey, I gotta yell."
I've seen some choice ladies, and I've tried to stop them from getting hit by carriages.
Go ahead.
Not
Dave.
always successfully.
Go ahead, Dave.
That was a classic Luke story.
Yeah.
The chicken one is just a classic Luke story.
And you've heard it twice before.
It was Luke's dad's story, but
No, that's your story.
I've taken it.
One of Worthington's school teachers recently took 6 revolvers from the little boys in his department.
You gotta arm the teachers.
America.
Gotta arm the teachers.
We used to
Jesus
be a proper
Christ.
country. Kids would come to school
6
strapped up.
revolvers.
Yeah, well, they all had one at least.
You got that
it's a
guy.
deterrent.
That's one of the worst shots I've ever seen. That guy shanked it sideways.
I think someone just went, I thought they were
And
doing
he's a
golf.
lefty. And he's golfing alone because no one wants to golf with him.
I golf alone.
An owl was shot west of Glencoe the other day, which measured 4 feet 8 inches from tip to tip of its wings.
Jesus Christ.
So why'd you shoot it?
It was hooting at me.
Why would you shoot it now? But that is really offensive.
Yeah, why would you shoot the...
Owls,
They used to shoot everything.
I
That's
know.
why we have to have laws against it.
and that's why we're going back. It's time to shoot owls again.
I want to arm the owls with 6 revolvers.
I agree. Dave?
No.
Wow.
Enemy of owls, Dave Anthony.
We don't
Nazi.
need...
Nazi.
the last thing we need to introduce to America is armed birds.
You don't think the drones are going to have guns? You're out of your
Completely
mind.
disagree.
Drones are going to have guns, but
Completely
I'm saying...
disagree.
We don't need
You're
birds.
off on this one.
The French have taught eagles to go after drones, the French police. Because
What?
people were illegally using drones in Paris, so they taught a bunch of eagles to attack the drones. That's
Boom.
what we should be doing.
So,
Do we think that's true?
I think he believes it.
Google it.
I think he believes it. Does that count?
On Monday last, John Dench of Rich Prairie, an old man over 70 years of age, killed a wild cat near his stable
Oh, my God.
and then started to his son's house about 40 rods to tell him about it.
So this guy
What's
killed
40
a-
rods? We got to look it up. Because
I bet you
this
that-
story. What do you think 40 rods is? Do you think it's
40
like,
yards.
Like,
No, it's
Yeah,
like
I think you're right.
It's like 1/10 of a mile or something. It's going to be one of those like racing, like a furlong.
Well,
a furlong?
I don't know.
Rods as a distance measurement. A rod, perch, or pole. It's British, of course.
What? Excuse me? The disrespect.
It is defined as 16 and a half feet.
Okay.
So he walked. So I
I think I'm right.
What'd you say?
I said it was a yard.
No, it's 16 and a half feet.
5.5 yards. Quick math.
It's 5.5 yards. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not. So you're wrong.
I know, but I think it's important that we learned a lot about ourselves on the way to that.
So it's like a 200-ish yards. He shot a cat and walked to his kid's
So
house.
he's walking.
two football fields away.
He's walking 2 football fields away. So
There
that's-
was not much news.
But
Excuse me, this man murdered a cat and
he didn't
bragged.
murder it. It was trying to kill his horses, I assume.
What are you talking about?
It was near his stable.
Didn't try to kill his horses. Cat and equine can live in harmony.
We're not talking about
Feline and equine can live in
We're not
harmony.
calling about a domestic cat. We're talking about like a wild cat or something. It's a
Bobcat?
I'm gonna
yeah.
mail you 5 bees.
But it's a cougar, a fucking bobcat or something. It's not like you're thinking of like Jose. We're not talking about Jose. We're talking about murder cat.
Either you're with us or you're against us.
I'm going to send an armed owl after you.
He only went about half the distance, so about a football
He got
field,
tuckered out.
when he gave out, and for some unknown cause,
Come on, tell me he dies.
was found several hours afterwards, dead and frozen.
Boom. Don't fuck with cats, bro.
Yep.
Don't
That
fuck
had
with
nothing
cats.
to do with killing the cat.
You kill a cat,
A
you
life
die.
for 9 lives.
You
As
don't
the old
die,
saying
though.
You
goes.
kill a cat, you die.
That's not how you can kill
An
a
eye
cat.
for an eye, 1 life for 9
A
lives.
die for a die.
You guys are not. You guys shouldn't be speaking.
Team
You-
cats.
Team cats.
Rawr.
Well, the noise I'm not okay with.
Emmanuel Staff of Castle Rock, Dakota County, was induced the other day by a couple of
I'm having a baby.
smooth-tongued, seductive chaps who pretended to be agents for light draft plows.
Hi, we're all from Light Draft Plow.
What is light draft plow?
How are you doing, sir?
Light draft plow has to be like a light
a-
plow for the
Yeah.
field.
Yeah.
To sign notes to the amount of $150. So they
Convinced him,
to
give him money
give him money with
for
checks.
fake plows.
He will probably be soon called upon to pay the notes in the hands of an innocent holder, and will find that he has been swindled to that amount.
How is the paper so far ahead of this con than this guy? This guy's reading this article like, wait, what?
The reveal?
I just read
Those smooth-tongued chaps were none other than I, your faithful reporter.
No, but how do they know?
I don't know.
I mean, Luke's kind of got the only answer.
Why
Why?
do I report about it before it's done? It makes me hard.
Wait,
I get off on the trickery.
Hey, we got to pull the plug on this reporter. This reporter's become a real liability for the paper. Sir,
Feel my smooth
Sir-
chaps.
sir, stop with your reporting.
They're assless.
Oh my God, what is he talking about?
My chaps.
I know.
no, we know what you're talking about.
We understand.
We also don't want to know what you're talking about.
We hear the words. We just
The
don't know.
breathe blows through.
The breathe blows through.
I tried to say breeze, but my tongue didn't work.
But
It's too
not-
slippery and smooth.
Okay, I'm just gonna.
He will probably be soon called upon to pay the notes in the hands of an innocent holder and will find that he has been swindled to that amount. Intelligent farmers who take and read the papers ought to escape all such swindlers.
This is just a paper ad.
Yeah, it's an ad. They're saying
an ad
buy
for
the
the
paper
paper.
and you'll know about the swindlers that are out there.
All right, how much you want?
I don't, nothing. I'm not.
I'll take 1 year subscription, boy.
This just in. Newspaper readers swindled out of a year's subscription by a smooth-tongued
These
advertisements from a man in assless chaps.
Stop with
No,
the chaps.
what are we doing?
Sitting comfortably on the chair of his desk, avoiding splinters because it is sanded smooth.
Man, I don't even.
I'm real locked in on my chaps.
I don't think you're locked in.
I think instead of like, there's the angel and the devil on the shoulders, there's just 2 Lukes on his shoulder, like, go
Yeah.
further,
Let him cook.
push.
Well, if
Push
you let
more.
him cook, has ever been said around you, Luke?
No, good Lord, no. Except for with the toilet covered in oats.
Student deviltry.
Nice.
Some medical students planned in Baltimore one day last week a daring freak.
Diddy.
Huh?
Yeah, that is a. What did he call him? Freak.
The Freakoffs.
Freakoffs.
Yeah. Okay. Which miscarried only by a mere chance. They went up to the top of the Washington Monument about 5 o'clock in the evening
Jesus
I
Christ.
like where this is going.
when it was fast growing dark. One of them wearing an extra coat,
Okay.
another an extra pair of pantaloons,
Uh-oh. Are they going to dress the monument?
and another carrying old boots,
Uh-oh. They're
And-
making a fake.
They're going to good sun it.
They're making a fake. They're
the
making a
bad
fake
seed.
man.
and other material concealed with which to manufacture the effigy of a man.
Oh, no.
They quickly
So
did.
they call it a monument.
They,
Come on.
it's
Pick
not-
yourself up.
Got him.
They quickly did their work almost too quickly, for their design had been observed by several people on the street below, whose presence on the corner attracted the attention of the keeper. So people knew.
People saw them making a man.
Did the people say they make a man, or did the people, for their design, had been observed by several people? Okay, so they saw him making it.
They saw him making a man.
This is the Washington Monument.
Yeah.
You can't see up there what's going on.
Oh,
I don't think it's as tall as you think it is.
Yeah, you've always thought it was taller than it is. You've always had this real blind spot for the Washington Monument.
It goes
it's not
to
the
the
Empire
clouds.
State Building, Dave.
Sometimes, when the moon comes over, you can step off the monument and onto the moon.
Well, this got a lot more troubling real quick.
But see, then it'd be lit up real well from that moonlight.
So why are you bringing Dave in today? He thinks you could step off the monument and onto the moon.
But only when it's not full. If it's full, you'll slide right off.
That's
the
right. You
round
got to get on
surface.
the little step part.
Mm-mm.
Apprehending that a tragedy was impending, he rushed to the top of the shaft where he was.
I've rushed to the top of the shaft before. One time I put a man on top of my shaft and made him rush towards it.
Effigy.
Where he was at first.
Effigy!
Hey.
Get your hand off me.
Dave, climb on that moon.
Okay, so. But by the way, this is the keeper of the monument running up there.
I got to show me the keeper of the monument of today.
Where he was first startled by seeing a pair of boots hanging over the parapet.
Oh no! We got a man on the monument!
And nearby a slow match burning. So they,
There's a guy who...
so they set it up so it would
They're
catch
about to
on.
light him on fire? The effigy?
It's an effigy. You burn it. So
Excuse me, sometimes effigies don't burn. Sometimes it's just nice to put one at the dinner table and
Sometimes.
pretend like there's someone else there with you.
Sometimes you hang them.
Yeah, I've done a lot of stuff with effigies.
Sometimes if they're high enough quality silicone, you create a real relationship with it.
Luke, are you
man.
banging your
I
effigy?
don't know if I agree with that.
Luke, you're banging your effigy?
It's my FGF.
On closer examination, however, he discovered the trick, which had been artfully planned. The effigy had a rope about its neck,
Oh.
an end of which was tied to the lightning rod.
Uh-oh. They were trying to bring it to life.
Yeah, Back to the
Trying to
Future.
think of Frankenstein
It's
situation.
alive!
Another cord was around the waist of the figure, and to this the slow match had been attached, which, when it had burned the cord, by the time it had grown quite dark, would have caused the figure to slip over the parapet and left it for Sunday morning, hanging a terrifying spectacle to all good folks on the way to church.
Pretty good planning.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And I do like this prank that they're like, we're going to goof and make them think a guy's dead up there.
Yeah, a guy hung himself.
Real Rube Goldberg of a hate crime.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, good for them.
It's pretty smart.
That's OK Go's new music video.
Jesus Christ.
That was a blast from the past.
For the two people who got it, they were like, that's pretty good.
What? That was the end of the story?
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you feel about it?
I mean, I wish the keeper had, followed up. Let us know, did he...
But Luke, here's the thing with news.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're just going to get the first part, and they'll do follow-ups later. I think you want books.
It is later. It's a lot later.
No. This is a paper from the... Have we explained what this podcast is?
How late much we wait? It's hundreds of years later, and he's not followed up?
This is a paper from one day.
Well...
Like, you know how if you picked up the paper today, it would just tell you, like, the most relevant news? It wouldn't wrap up those stories for you. They're not going to wait to wrap the stories up.
And that's why I don't pick up the paper.
Luke is requesting more reply guys.
Well...
18th century reply guys.
Nope.
Let the effigy swing.
Nope. We're done. That's the end of you, Luke.
That was a good shot.
Nobody cares.
That was a good shot.
I've thought a lot about the little town that I live in now has like a free newspaper they put out quarterly. That's just advertising for local realtors.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to get a bunch of printings made of my own rival local newspaper and just do stories like this.
Do you want to counter what they write in their free paper, or are you just going to do a different paper? Like, are you going to have replies to their stories?
I might sort of take some aim, do some corrections at like new ice cream place opens. It's like, well, we'll see about that. A little takedown of that story.
Luke? What? Look, do you know words are coming out?
I do.
How are you feeling about that?
Good.
If you were a kitchen, the dishes would be inedible. Ineligible.
Okay.
Thank God.
Life-saving rules. Some healthy maxims to be pasted in the hat for use of emergencies.
Oh, that's fun. You do write a little note to yourself inside your hat?
Don't you love to read the maxims which some wise man writes for the newspapers? Useful rules which are intended to save human life and alleviate human suffering.
How funny would it be if, like, in 2 days we see that Luke has pasted pictures from, like, Maxim in his hat?
I wouldn't at all.
We're like, what?
I'm surprised.
Just like, yeah, this girl's pouring beer on her jugs.
It's an Axe body spray ad.
Maxims.
There is always so much practical common sense in them. Here's a batch, for instance. For dust in the eyes, avoid rubbing and dash water in them.
Okay.
Super smart.
Hard to read that with dust in your eyes.
I mean, that's,
Wait, what were the rules?
It's when you gotta remember.
There was something I was supposed to do.
Oh God, I wish I could see.
So much dust.
Somebody read my hat to me.
Going around town. Sir, could you read my hat directions?
There's just a picture of a lady with beer on her jugs.
Oh, that's right. I gotta jerk off.
Thanks for the reminder.
Thank you. I'm gonna go behind this fence here. There's no fence there. Oh, yeah.
Well, just catch it in my hat.
Oh, yeah. That's how I paste them.
This is especially useful when you are on the cars and there isn't a drop of water in the country nearer than the engine or the next lake 43 miles behind you.
The idea that he said 43 miles is totally weird.
It sounds very specifically like something
Like
that happened
me.
to her.
There's a lake 43 miles behind me, for instance.
Now, this next one's very helpful for Luke.
Uh-huh.
Remove insects from the ear by tepid water. Never put a hard instrument into your ear.
Let's, Luke, please repeat it.
Remove insects from the ear with tepid water. Never put a hard instrument in your ear.
All right.
I heard that.
Yes, that is pretty advice now, isn't it? Suppose an Indian peace commissioner gets an insect in his ear when he is out in...
See you later, boys.
when he is out in Colorado. Is that man to suffer until he can reach the Mississippi River in order to get enough water to fill his ear?
What a nightmare walk that is.
Think about it.
Walking to the Mississippi River to stop a moth.
From Colorado to get that moth out
Ah!
At that point, I think you go for the hard instrument.
Have you? No. Luke?
I don't know.
Now, Luke, have you ever had a bug in your ear?
Not to my knowledge.
Well, that says that there's a bunch living in your head, to me.
Before passing through smoke, take a full breath and stoop low.
That's so funny to be like, I don't agree. Exhale and jump.
Why would you take a full breath of non? Yeah, okay.
Yes, yeah, hold your breath.
Just imagine now what a circus a smoking car would present if every man who entered it kept that rule posted in his hat. Why is
this guy obsessed with hat
rules? It's all in your hat.
I think he's saying these are bad rules.
You know what? It's like the Bill Maher segment of their day. Hat rules.
Oh, sure. If everyone entered the smoking car with a big breath, that's gonna work just fine.
How about this? We make our decisions to hold our breath if we want to or not.
Suck poisonous wounds unless your mouth is sore.
He's not reading. He's telling you to go do that, Luke.
Okay.
Suck poisonous wounds unless your mouth is sore. Enlarge the wound, or better, cut the wound without one delay. If that isn't a lively piece of advice for a sane man to give to healthy people.
Now, look. Allow me to suck your wound. I don't have sores.
I don't have a wound.
I don't have sores in my mouth.
We can make one.
Listen here, don't you do anything of the kind. And if you get a scratch on the throat, don't enlarge it or cut it out. And if you get a wound on the back of your neck, don't try to reach it with your mouth. Somebody will try that someday and there'll be a broken neck in the family.
I think he's got to be being funny.
Got to be a joke at this point, yeah.
You can't suck the back of your own neck.
I can too, watch me.
That's how Luke goes.
Wolves still make the night hideous with their howling, especially was this case last Thursday.
Wow. You know, it's pretty fucking sad that we live in a time where you will never hear a wolf, like, while you sleep. You'll never be like, the wolves are too much.
But
here we
go. We
go.
Play our cards right. You could hear a beautiful choir singing in dog church.
Dude, let the dog church choir go.
I still think it's a viable option. But people hunger for howl songs. Read the title of that article. Jesus Christ.
The Dying Earth.
Wait, who's it written by? What's the guy's name?
Professor Proctor in New York.
Oh, okay.
My friends, even our Earth must die.
Oh my God.
It must go the way of all the Earth and other Earths.
This is a Trump speech.
In the course of 25 more millions of years, it must deadhead its way among the stars. You want to read it? You want to read it in Trump voice?
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Well, and people don't like Trump, but I'll read it in Trump voice. Here's Trump's latest speech. My friends, even our Earth must die. It must go the way of all the Earth and other Earths. In the course of 25 more millions of years, it must deadhead its way among the stars. It must dry up. The bottom of the seas will leak. The waters run out. Mars and Venus's seas are so leaking now. The moon is dead already, poor thing. And no one kind enough to bury her. When you look on the face of the moon, you look on the face of a corpse. It's all nonsense to talk of the moon's rising or setting or getting up or setting down or the moon's looking down on us. It does nothing of the sort. It's dead and can't look anywhere. And the Earth is dying in 25 million years. It'll be nothing but a cold cinder. No seas, no men, no women, no girls, no boys, no children, no fashions, no newspapers, no politics if Nancy Pelosi gets her way, no politics, no revolutions, no wars, no rumors of wars, no theaters, no plays, no critics, no nothing. All blank, dry, dead, dull, dusty, deserted, doleful, and dreadful. The sun will get up every morning for nothing. No life at all. The animal, mineral, and vegetable kingdoms all destroyed. The earth will be deserted and dusty, hung with mold and hung with cobwebs. Rats will burrow everywhere and all sorts of weeds will choke up our parks and gardens. Now, friends, something should be done before it's too late to raise a monument of our departing earth. Some organization should be formed to see it buried decently and provide for the payment of the funeral expenses.
Woo! Well done. Well done. Oh my God.
100% a Trump speech. Holy shit. All right, you got one more for little Lukey boy?
Mexican robbers are real hidalgos
Oh boy.
and always steal and murder like
Are you just asking for another Trump speech?
and always steal and murder like gentlemen,
Wow.
being especially polite to the ladies whose jewelry they appropriate. A bandit chief, after shooting a gentleman dead because he refused to give up the keys to his house.
This is a backhanded compliment.
This is, because they just shot and killed a guy.
Yeah.
Addressed the widow thus, with hat in hand. Madame, we are gentlemen, and never could be guilty of rudeness to the fair. Pray accept this diamond as a memento of the deceased, and believe me your slave to command. My compliments to your distressed orphans.
Oh my God. You gotta love the way that people would commit crime and then be like, I want to give you a tip.
It's about manners.
It's my diamond.
So I stole $65 from you. Here's 20. I murdered your husband. Here's a diamond.
It was his, but now it's yours.
Not going to read this last one, but the headline is The Heathen Chinese, and it has 2 E's on the end.
Okay. Luke, where can people find you besides in the van? You're what, at Luke H. Simmons?
I'm at Luke H. Simmons on most of the things.
You go on tour with me often if people want to see you do stand-up, and if people ever want to see you really in your element, they should see you at a Dollop show where you are Dick Van Dyking it, doing 800 different things for us that we appreciate. And you mess up a number of those things, but overall, when you put the marbles on the scale, it's a lot of good. But man, the mess ups are...
Usually the marbles end up all over the floor.
Yeah, sometimes you eat a couple marbles and...
Like a Home Alone style trap, and I'm doing 6-foot vertical airborne before I come down hard on my lower back. But the other day I got to saw the head off a Cabbage Patch Kid.
At a show.
At a show.
Can I also just recommend that people go and sit at the 9th hole at the end and just watch how bad people are at golf?
I don't want to jinx us, but I'm shocked that one of these balls hasn't shattered.
We should get out of here.
It's a really crazy place to have a parking lot.
Yeah, no, it's not. Well, it's because golfers do it.
It's 20 feet from the...
It's for people golfing, not people doing a podcast.
Here's a little treat we'll end the video like this. There you go.
Oh,
you can see what we're seeing.
It got one right in the sand. Oh no, it came on the green. Look at you!
For those who didn't believe it,
for those who said it couldn't be done, and I'm done.
And then the Earth died.
Okay, great. Yeah.